Between 2020 and 2023, more Americans became truck fleet owners than at almost any point in history. Then, over the next 2 years, hundreds of thousands of them went broke. The number of trucking companies in America nearly doubled in 3 years, from about 241,000 to almost 475,000. And then the market did something brutal. Driver profit per mile collapsed from about $1 down to 3 cents. 3 cents a mile, while their actual cost stayed around 40 cents a mile. So is owning a trucking fleet in 2026 a smart financial move, or a trap dressed up as the American dream? Let's actually run the numbers. Meet Ray, not a real person, but a stand-in for hundreds of thousands of drivers who made the same decision over the last few years. Ray spent years as a company driver, getting a steady paycheck, someone else covering the truck payment, someone else handling the headaches. Then he saw other drivers buying their own trucks, getting their own authority, and, for a while, making real money doing it. During the pandemic freight boom, spot rates spiked. Some owner-operators were clearing close to $1 a profit per mile. That kind of money changes minds fast. So Ray did the math on paper. Buy a truck, get his own authority, keep everything after expenses instead of splitting it with a company. On paper, it looked incredible. In practice, Ray was about to learn the most important lesson in this entire industry. Gross revenue is not profit, and timing the freight market wrong can turn a good business into a losing one almost overnight. Because here's what Ray didn't fully account for. He wasn't just buying a truck. He was buying into one of the most brutally cyclical industries in the American economy. The trucking market moves in 4 repeating phases: recession, recovery, boom, and collapse. Get the timing wrong, and the math falls apart fast. So before we get to what happened to Ray, let's actually break down what it costs to own a truck in the first place. Because the sticker price is just the beginning. A new Class 8 semi-truck, the big rig you picture when you think 18-wheeler, typically runs well over $150,000. Most owner-operators don't pay cash. They finance it, which means a truck payment before a single mile is ever driven. Then there's the trailer, authority and operating permits, insurance, which for new operators is expensive because insurers see you as high risk until you build a track record. Add ELD compliance systems, safety equipment, and initial maintenance reserves, and many new owner-operators are already $15,000 to $25,000 deep before their first paying load. Some operators go the used truck route instead, which lowers the upfront number significantly, but often raises the maintenance risk, since older trucks fail more often and more expensively. Either way, Ray is now carrying a fixed monthly payment whether his truck is hauling freight or sitting empty in a parking lot. And that's the first hard truth about this business. Your biggest cost doesn't care whether you're working or not. This is fundamentally different from being a company driver. As an owner, downtime doesn't just cost you income, it actively costs you money every single day the truck isn't moving. So Ray's first real lesson, the truck itself isn't the investment. Keeping that truck loaded and moving is the investment. And that brings us to the number almost nobody talks about outside the industry, the true cost of actually running the truck. Let's break it down. According to industry research from the American Transportation Research Institute, the average cost to operate a truck reached $2.26 per mile in 2024. That number includes fuel, which remains one of the single largest and most volatile expenses. Even small price swings can meaningfully change a month's profitability. It includes maintenance, and this is where things get scary. An engine rebuild can run over $35,000. A transmission failure can be $10,000 to $15,000 or more. It includes insurance, which keeps climbing industry-wide, especially for newer authorities without a long safety record. It includes truck payments, permits, ELD subscriptions, tires. Commercial tires alone can run several $100s each, and a rig needs a lot of them. And it includes something people rarely budget for correctly: downtime. Every day in a repair shop is a day generating zero revenue, while every fixed cost keeps running. So if your operating cost is $2.26 a mile, your freight rate has to clear that number just to break even. Anything below that, and you're paying to drive. This is exactly what happened to a huge wave of new owner-operators during the freight downturn. Rates fell below their operating costs, and they didn't even realize it until the bank account told them. Which brings us to the story that actually explains everything happening in trucking economics right now. The freight recession. Here's how bad it really got. During the pandemic boom, freight volume surged, rates spiked, and the industry saw an unprecedented gold rush. Drivers rushed to get their own trucking authority while the getting was good. The number of for-hire carriers exploded from about 241,000 in mid-2020 to over 475,000 by mid-2023, a 96% increase in 3 years. That's nearly every new driver in America deciding at the same time to become their own boss. But more trucks chasing the same freight means one inevitable outcome: rates crash. And starting in April 2022, they did. Hard. Freight volumes fell. Capacity stayed high, and the market entered what analysts now call one of the longest freight recessions in modern trucking history, over 3 straight years. This is where Ray's numbers stopped working. According to reporting from NBC News, driver profit fell from around $1 per mile in 2021 to roughly 3 cents per mile by 2023. Meanwhile, operating costs stayed anchored around 40 cents a mile. Do that math, and huge numbers of owner-operators were running loads at a loss just to keep their trucks moving and avoid total default. Truckload carriers as a group posted an average operating margin of negative 2.3% in 2024. Not thin profits, actual losses. Fleets responded the only way they could, cutting fleet size by over 2%, slashing non-driver staff by nearly 7%, and running fewer drivers per truck than before. This is the part of the buy a truck, be your own boss story that almost never makes it into the pitch. The freight market can turn a great business decision into a losing one in a matter of months, with no warning label. Ray survived, barely. Many didn't. The industry has been in a slow, painful shakeout ever since. So where does that leave things heading into today? Here's the good news and the catch that comes with it. Analysts broadly agree the worst of the freight recession is now behind the industry. A key measure called the Outbound Tender Reject Index, basically a gauge of how much leverage carriers have, rose from about 4.3% in late 2024 to roughly 5.7% by early 2026. Translation: capacity is tightening. Fewer trucks are available relative to freight, which slowly gives carriers back some pricing power. Spot truckload rates are forecast to rise around 3.6% in 2026, with contract rates up closer to 2.6%. Some analysts, including C.H. Robinson, have raised dry van rate forecasts as high as 6 to 8% growth for the year. But, and this is the important part, analysts are calling this a marginless recovery. Rate gains are barely outpacing inflation and rising costs. In other words, things are getting less bad. That's genuinely different from things getting good. ACT Research is calling 2026 a foundational year, stabilizing but not yet fully recovered, with a more durable rebound not expected until 2027 at the earliest. For someone like Ray, that means 2026 rewards a very specific skill: relentless cost control, not chasing rate spikes that may not fully materialize. The operators who survive this phase aren't the ones betting on a boom. They're the ones who know their exact break-even cost per mile and refuse to run a load below it. So knowing all of this, is it actually worth owning a fleet right now? The honest answer depends entirely on scale. Let's compare 3 versions of this business because the economics change dramatically depending on size. First, the single truck owner-operator, like Ray. Lowest overhead, most flexibility, but almost zero cushion. 1 truck down for repairs means 100% of your income stops. This is the highest risk, highest volatility version of the business. Every single cost swing hits you directly, with no other trucks to average it out. Second, the small fleet, say 3 to 10 trucks. Now you have some diversification. If one truck breaks down, the others keep generating revenue. But small fleets also take on new costs owner-operators don't have: dispatchers, more complex insurance, and the management overhead of coordinating multiple drivers and routes. The break-even math gets more forgiving here, but so does the complexity. This stops being drive a truck and starts being run a logistics company. Third, insurance costs, which have been climbing industry-wide for years, disproportionately hitting newer and smaller operators the hardest. Fourth, driver shortages colliding with an aging workforce. The industry needs new drivers just as experienced ones are retiring in large numbers. And fifth, technology disruption. AI-powered routing, dispatching, and maintenance tools are becoming standard. Operators who don't adapt risk falling behind on efficiency, the competition is already capturing. None of these risks are hypothetical. They're actively reshaping who succeeds and who fails in trucking right now, in real time. Put together, they explain why so many pandemic-era trucking companies didn't just have a bad year. They had a bad business model for the conditions that followed. So where does that leave someone actually considering this in 2026? Here's the honest breakdown. Trucking fleet ownership isn't a bad business. It's a cyclical, capital-intensive business that punishes bad timing and rewards operational discipline. If you're considering it, know your exact break-even cost per mile before you book a single load. Not roughly, exactly. Build a cash reserve before you start, not after your first breakdown forces you to. Understand which phase of the freight cycle you're entering. Booming into a recession is exactly how Ray and hundreds of thousands like him got hurt. Start smaller than your ambition wants you to. The solo owner-operator stage is where you learn the real cost structure before scaling into more risk. And treat maintenance as a monthly bill you pay yourself, not an emergency that surprises you every few months. Ray made it through the recession. Barely. Today, he runs his single truck with a strict break-even number taped to his dashboard, and he doesn't book anything below it. That discipline, not a lucky rate spike, is what separates the operator still standing in 2026 from the hundreds of thousands who aren't. The freight market is genuinely improving. Capacity is tightening. Rates have room to grow. But improving and easy are two very different words. And this industry has punished anyone who confused them for the last 4 years straight. So if you're thinking about buying a truck, buying a fleet, or investing anywhere near this industry, do the math Ray wishes he'd done first. If this breakdown helped you understand the real economics behind the 18-wheelers on every American highway, subscribe. Because next week, we're breaking down exactly how the biggest fleets in America use freight cycles to buy up struggling competitors for pennies on the dollar. The truck is never the hard part. Surviving the cycle is.